Erev Tov and Erev Rosh Chodesh Tov. Tonight's Rosh Chodesh, first day of 2-day Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. And we're going to get started. Last time, we didn't meet last week, but a couple of weeks ago, we were able to get through Perek Zayin and left some kind of a cliffhanger. General idea was, we're talking in this chapter about the effect eating food, kosher food, has on a person when they don't eat l'shem shamayim. Let's go back even one step further. We saw that everything that's klipat noga, everything that's within let's random approximate number of 90% of stuff on earth, has the capability, based on how you and I use the object, approach the object, integrate the object into our lives, to move from either parv, klipat noga means has potential to have that ray of kedusha come out of it, or to go down, God forbid, to gimel klipot tatzmeot, the lowest level of tum'ah. And how is that accomplished? We said for one of his common examples, he's going to use it now at the end of chapter 7. He's going to use it again extensively in chapter 8, which we're going to get to soon. Was food. That in and of itself, food, as long as it's kosher, nothing wrong with it. B'simcha, eat what you want. On the other hand, when you do that, you eat only because you're hungry, only because, and I'm not talking about just stomp throwing something in your mouth, but you keep eating and eating, and sometimes overeating. We lower the level of that food, and for that moment ourselves, to the lowest level of tumah, because we're not making use of what Hashem's given us to raise it, but instead we're doing the opposite. So what does that mean? His thesis is that when we eat, and he's given us the example of Shabbat and Chagim, where we eat kavod Shabbat, right? Not just we have a perfunctory little statement at the beginning of our meal that we say, okay, we're eating everything with kavod Shabbat, but really as we're eating, we have the proper intention that's for kavod Shabbat. On a weekday, we eat because we have in mind because we want to be healthy. We want to be healthy so we can serve Hashem. That takes the food, which is just klipat noga, and raises it to the level of kedusha. So first of all, you have to understand, I didn't necessarily stress this enough, but we are given this extreme, I don't want to use the word power, ability is probably better. Power might be the right word, but I don't like using it, of affecting things in this world to raise them to the level of kedusha. Now we already know that in other areas. I can take an animal, a cow, and I can take the hide of the animal, tan the hide, make it into parchment, write a sefer Torah. So I can take something, we already know that. But who would think about food? Who would think about these other things? They're also able to raise these items to a level of kedusha in this world. So again, in chapter 7, he was talking about the idea of, or an example being food, that we can actually raise the level of the food from klipat noga to level of kedusha. Awesome. But what happens when we don't? It said that it becomes part of gimel klipot tatzmeot, the lowest level of tumah, and it's in our bodies. Remember, we said that it becomes a physical part of our bodies. We know that when we eat, that except for what our bodies get rid of, they become part of our bone, our muscle, and blood, and everything else, and becomes a part of us. And therefore, it's not only spiritually affected us because we didn't eat necessarily for the proper reason, right? But we also have a physical effect on our bodies. So he said, how do we, after the fact, how do we raise the level of the food to klipat, from klipat noga, or actually gimel klipot tatzmeot, to a level of kedusha? So there's a few possibilities. One is that after the fact, let's say I ate a hamburger and I didn't have any intention whatsoever, just I like hamburgers, right? I went to a burgers bar, I had a hamburger, fine. And after I said, Zev, listen, you teach this class in Tanya, maybe you want to incorporate some of it to your own life. Okay, you know what? You're right. Say to myself, listen up. You just ate a nice meal. Your stomach enjoyed. It was very filling. But now you're going to go, I'm making this up, I didn't have a hamburger tonight. Now you're going to go teach a class in Tanya. Use the energy you had from that meal to teach Torah properly. What have I done with that? I've elevated after the fact, post facto, I've elevated that food from the gimel klipot tatzmeot, past klipat noga, all the way up to the level of kedusha. but I still left a Roshem in me. In other words, when a mark, so to speak, in me, in my neshama, in my body. So we said that there were two, this is pretty much where we left off, that there were two possibilities for that Roshem, that impression that was left on me, to be corrected, for there to be complete, let's say, tshuva. One is external, and that happens when Hashem eradicates death from the world. Because what happens then? Everything changes. I shouldn't say everything. Many things change vis-a-vis our relationship to things that are permitted and not permitted. And without going through it again, because I want to spend more time on the second one, which is where we take action. It's something that Hashem does. It has a direct effect on the relationship between us and that which was originally ingested, that wasn't ingested for the right reason. Not talking about non-kosher. Remember, I'm talking about kosher food. And it has an effect to then mitigate that action and to reach it back up to a proper level. But what we left off with and left hanging was that there's another way we can do something even before Hashem eradicates death from this world, should be bekarov. And that is when we do what's called, he calls it tshuva gedola, a great tshuva, a fantastic, an important tshuva. And we left kind of hanging, like he left us with a few terms, 5 terms. And we're going to look at this in a minute in what is said by Rav Steinsaltz. A second here. The computer's giving you so much trouble lately. Interesting. My mouse doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. Nope. Okay, this is great. Let me try something here. Okay, this is wonderful. My computer has been acting very weird lately. Some of you know that from the other day when I had to cancel my Navi class. I'm going to try and get this on the screen share. Once I get it there, I'm going to leave it there. Before class started, I had to restart the computer also. Okay, let's do this. Give me, if you don't mind, the Zoom will stay open. I'm gonna end it. Stay on. It'll still be there, and if for some reason it's not, I'll just message everyone to come back on. Okay, but I gotta figure out how I'm gonna end it without being able to move my mouse. Methinks I need a new computer again. This is not good. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the computer off, not off. I'll put it into sleep mode for a minute. Okay, stay on, and if it shows that it's shut off, just I'll message in the group when to come back on.